I've known you've seen this look that I did on myself for my photo shoot, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Before I start to do my makeup, I'm going to show you how I prep my skin and what skincare I use on myself. I hear a lot about cakey makeup, but your makeup is cakey because of your skin underneath the makeup. My first thing is a toner, and I like to go in with this rice toner. This is from Dollar Tree, but it is really good. I just rub it in my hands and then I press it on to my skin. Next step is my Snail Mucin Essence, and this is really good with minimizing any texture on the skin. Somewhat of a little sticky texture. And then I just literally put this on my skin and then I rub it in a little bit. And with the hyaluronic acid serum from Good Molecules, I just smack it and then I put it onto my hand. I do not put any of the applicators on my face. For moisturizer, I'm going in with the Holy Hydration Daily Moisturizer from e.l.f. I really like how thick this one is. You want to make sure that your eyelids are also well moisturized before you do any eyeshadow primer or any concealer. I did my eyebrows and now we're going to get into eyeshadow. For the eyeshadow palette I'll be using is the 35XO and the e.l.f. concealer to prime my eyes. And we're only going to place the concealer above our crease. We're going to leave our lid alone since we're doing a cut crease. I'm just going to be patting this all above the crease. First shade is going to be Just Friends M331 from Morphe. Once it's all coated and you tapped off the excess, we're gonna go and pat this in first. I'm going to tap this above the crease. Then we're just gonna start to diffuse the color. Towards the end, we're gonna place it, pat it. So once you pat it, you're only gonna diffuse the edges of the color with whatever is left on the brush. So you don't pick it up until you're going to start patting again. So now we're just gonna diffuse the color. Just putting it towards our temple. Going in, picking up more color again, beginning, and just tap it first. And this part we're gonna diffuse into the beginning of our eyebrow. So just slowly do circular motions and then diffuse upwards. As you can see, I'm adding a little bit to the beginning of my nose just so that will blend into our contour later on. Same brush and going into Let's Snuggle. So we're gonna place it in the same spot, just a little more into the crease so we could blend it up. It on, tap, 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 and then remember we're going to only blend the edges. Just going and doing small circular motions like this, and then I'm going side to side just to diffuse the edges of this to blend into the first color we used. And this color does look a little bit similar to the first color, but it is a tad bit darker. Make sure all the colors are going to be above that crease line, so when you clean it up, nothing is missing. You can really see how much of a difference it makes, deepening up that color and really defining your crease. Into Charmer, and I'm using an M506 from Morphe with Make It Official. It's a smaller, denser brush, which we will really put into our crease. Those two colors, and we're really gonna place this really deep into our crease. I'm going side to side, small circular motions, but we're gonna keep this really tight because we don't want this to overpower the other colors. We just want that gradient effect that I keep talking about. So only blend the edges. And for this one, we're not blending the edges with the same brush. We're going to use the brush we used before. I do repeat a lot of the things I'm saying, but you guys have to know if you want to get better at doing makeup, everything is a repetition. All the same steps you are doing, you are just repeating multiple times. And that's the only way you're going to get better. Thing on the brush, and now we're just doing circular motions on the edges of that darker color. Most of my pressure on holding my brush. Remember, you want to be very gentle. Some eyeshadow blends super easy where you don't have to put a lot of pressure. So just keep that pressure by holding your brush and slowly making those movements to really help you. Taking some micellar water, and this is the Equate one, and then I'm going to be taking some Q-tips and we're gonna clean up and cut our crease. You could really skip this step. A lot of people like to just go straight in, but I like mine sharp, like I always say. So I'm gonna use some micellar water. I want to create half a circle. So we're starting in the beginning and then going above our crease like that. So just, it's very easy with the micellar water just to drag it and create the shape. And then with the other side, I just clean it up. Shape our crease, I'm going to be using the P. Louise blank canvas, very flat, so we could really create a sharp shape. We're going to put it in the back of our hand just to heat up the product a little bit. So I'm first creating the shape and then we're going to put it on the lid. So I first like to drag the shade a little bit down once I create a line. So line, 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 drag down. That doesn't mean put a whole lot of pressure and pull it down. We're doing small, soft steps. This part, I'm just tapping whatever excess I have left just on the lid. Really blend out those edges. So we're gonna blend out this inner corner and then we're gonna really blend out this outer corner, so then we could set the base that we just used. Up some of that base paint, and then we're just tapping to really blend this into the brown. Powder puff, and I'm gonna use this Ultra white powder, and then now we're just gonna go right on top. Make sure it is nicely packed. Take any like fluffier brush, and then I slowly like dust anything off of that powder, and as you can see, it didn't mess anything up. Now we're gonna do the rest of our eyeshadow on the lid. I'm taking this small fluffy brush and I'm going to use the same colors that we used for the top. So I'm first going in with that first lighter brown at an angle. So I'm gonna tap it on first. Blend it out. I'm literally just going on top and just patting it on. Same brush and going in with Let's Snuggle. But we're gonna start even lower and keep it at an angle. So just patting it on. Now using a charmer and make it official. It's just on the edge. And if you've seen my rainbow eyeshadow, then you know this is exactly how to blend two colors together. You just want to tap on top of each other on the edges of it and it'll blend together. That bright inner white corner, we're going to use Stage White from One Size. Get the most pigment if I use a powder puff, so we're just going to rub it in there. Put it right in the corner. And you can see how bright that gets instantly. From Peaches and Cream, I'm going to use the Gatsby pigment. Some NYX glitter glue. Using a Morphe M213. Glitter glue. We want to place it really close to our cut. We're only going to lay it really close to our cut crease, and we're going to leave this blank just with the white. Any excess we have left, we're just going to drag it down. Judy Doll eyeliner, and it's a very precise point. We're starting in the middle of our tear duct, and then we're going to go straight, and then we're going to go up. That's how I create this shape. So drawing a straight line, and I'm really gonna drag it out. We're gonna make the triangle up to create our eyeliner. Hopefully you can see this because it's hard recording this part. Once you have the triangle shape, now you could build up and create the thickness of how you want it to look. Tape to help us. I really did like a long eyeliner, so it was really elongated. I didn't want my eyeliner straight. I wanted it up at an angle. Waterline, we're going to use the Maybelline Tattoo Studio black. And with the beginning of the eyes. So now we're going to move on to the face. Primer, I'm going to use the Jelly Grip Primer from Essence. The Hydrating Primer. A little bit of the Easy Blur Primer. I like this one for under the eye. It just really blurs every pore. Using the NARS Radiant Foundation, the shade Santa Fe. I like to spread it across my face first. All over my face. I'm gonna go in with a brush. Usually I do a brush. Sometimes now I do use a sponge. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. All I do is tap it and push it into the skin. Going in with the Morphe stick in the shade Spark. One of my cheeks very bronzy and very blushy. Blend out your bronzer. Make sure you're pulling the product up and not down. That's just gonna make your face look droopy. So as I'm blending this, I'm putting it up towards my temple and up under my eye, just so I have a more lifted look. When I teach my classes, I say start at the beginning of your ear, down, and stop where your nose ends. So that's how you know your placement. Just a little trick, or you could try to do the placement depending on your face shape. Contour, I really like to use brushes like this that are flat or either like slanted a little bit at the top, if you could tell, just so when you're going in, you could go straight up. And it's really easy. This I just pull to the side. And I like to bring it all the way up to the beginning of the eyeshadow and the beginning of the brow. For blush, I did a little bit of the Painted by Esther look. And I'm going to use 2 of the e.l.f. Putty blushes in shades Bora Bora and Turks and Caicos. Take Turks and Caicos first. Put this one right on the cheek. Just putting it upwards and then more towards the center of the face. So now for Bora Bora, we're gonna put it mostly under the eye. I'm gonna put it mostly under the eye and closer to the eyeliner. Keeping it real tight right here so it blends into that other color. So keeping it real tight. That's how I did it. So it's really pink into that peachy color, and it's so cute. Now we're gonna go into our concealer with the Milani Conceal and Perfect. And I've really been loving this concealer. Like, it is so good. Love the coverage, and it's just super good. Highly recommend if you don't have it. Using the shade 115. Perfect for like a brighter under eye. Like, it's so smooth. Let the under eye sit a little bit, and I'll blend out the other parts first. Like that, it's also like a true light color. Like, there's no yellow undertone like most brighter shades, and I really like it. And any excess down the middle of my nose, I'll slowly start to blend this in. So I'm gonna do the edges first, and then we'll go straight on top. All our creams are done. You can see how hydrated my skin looks. I like to have my skin looking before powders, and also my clients. This is how you know it's gonna be so good once you put powder on. Powder, I'm gonna use that same over powder just because I like how bright it is. I'm just using a powder puff. I like to blend everything out just because I have fine lines under my eyes too, so I do get a little bit of creasing, which is natural and normal when you wear makeup and you have fine lines. So don't feel discouraged. You can still have a beautiful bead and have some fine lines, queen. You'll be fine. We're gonna go in and set bright that powder is, and that's why I like it. And I'm gonna set all the way up. This powder on the T-zone, so under eye, forehead, and the chin right here. And then I'm gonna use the translucent powder from Laura Mercier to do my cheeks. Put it on my eyebrow just to dim down the color. Now the Laura Mercier in the shade translucent, and I'm just gonna set my face. Just like this. I like to keep some of that hydration so I don't set all over right here, because I do want it to look a little bit dewy on my cheeks. So I just set the bottom perimeter. That, now we're going to go into our powdered bronzer, the MAC Skin Finish, and this is the shade Dark Tan. I do have a new one, but I don't know, I feel like this color is different than the new one I got, so I'm going to use this till I don't have it no more. Fluffy brush, it's just swirling it around. And then make sure you blend it into your hairline. Chin, define my jaw a little bit. That same angled brush, taking some of this Skin Finish. I like to start at the bottom, put it all over the nostrils. And then I start going up. I'm going to use two blushes. So it's depotted, and it is from a Juvia's Place Saharan Volume 2 palette, I think. We're gonna put this on the outer, and this on the outer, putting it up on top of that bronzer, and then down towards our cheek. So up, down towards our cheek. Second blush, we're using this LA Colors Sweet Cheeks. Highly pigmented and super cute. This one, we're gonna pull it right underneath, really tight. This on my clients, I tell them to look up for this part so I could get it really close. But let's see. Like that. Again, we're gonna look up a little bit and put it like right under the eye. Have our base mostly done. We're gonna do the bottom lash line and with a packer brush like this, and we're gonna use those two darker brown colors together. Lash line, but very close to the waterline. Using another M506, and I'm gonna take Snuggle. I'm gonna diffuse the edges, going small circular motions and side to side. Finishing with Just Friends. Add in some black from another palette. Just want to connect right here, that black, just a little bit. And then just go in and diffuse that a little bit. And boom, it's like perfectly blended. Now our eyes are done. I'm gonna take some of this out. So I blend it and then take it off. On our highlighter, and for highlighter, I like to go in with Rodeo Dry from Ofra. Take a small pointed brush. And I go right here and here for my nose. I just take like a fluffy brush. I smile a little bit. It's really nice because it hits from any angle. It's into lips. Lip liner, I'm using the Rain Cosmetics lip liner in Heat Check. For my lip, I'm using shade 74 from the Sephora collection. Mascara, I am using the Maybelline. Lashes that I had on, I use these cat eyelashes. And this is the finished look. This is how it looks up close.